mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, Teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
Listen to the home of the 5K Gruber Cash Giveaway. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time! It's time! It's beta time!
You are watching a master at work.
Truth Nation, get ready for the greatest 60 minutes in radio, giving you his authentic and bold opinions, bringing you all the information, entertainment, and conversations you gotta hear. From local issues to trending topics and headline news, it is time for Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube. Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is your award-winning host, Kyle Wallace.
It is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I am Kyle Wallace, host of Truth to Power, taking y'all through the next 58 minutes here of the greatest 60 minutes in radio. Shout out to my boy DJ Brother Z holding it down on the ones and twos as always. And I'm excited about today because yesterday I felt like shout out to Dame LZ because he joined me. I thought we had a great show, an informative show. So I'm really excited about today, and I had some things planned out. And before I talk about what I had planned out and then a bomb was dropped on me, make sure y'all, stream and watch us live on YouTube. That's 101.7 The Truth on YouTube, 101.7 The Truth on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button because we're trying to get to 5,000 subscribers, our road to 5K by the end of this year. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button right there on 101.7 The Truth. And then also, for every show on 101.7 The Truth, Truth to Power specifically as well, hit that little thumbs up like button because we love for y'all to hit that thumbs up like button as well. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk to text line. That's how you can get in on the conversation. So, Truth Nation, today, I had a lot of different things, right? Because, yesterday we talked local. We talked about MPS, and we talked about how they selected Brenda Cassellius as the new superintendent. As we know, I'm against it based off the facts that when I did my own research and that I provided. So that is where we did what we did yesterday. Me and Dame had a great conversation, or engaging conversation. Today, I was looking at different things that I wanted to talk about because the first thing that I ran into was yesterday after the show, we had the tragic police shooting where a police officer was shot at by a man who had a gun yesterday, but they did end up shooting the individual that shot at the police officer and killing him as well, right? And I was going to talk about the fact that we need to have more strict gun laws, right? And we have situations where there's opportunities within the new budget that Governor Tony Evers wants to pass that would at least have a red flag law which help prevent an actual shooting in California based off of, the fact that the red flag law that they have there, but had we had the red flag law here in Wisconsin, it could have prevented the school shooting that happened in Madison area about a month ago, a little over a month ago. And so I wanted to talk about that, but then I'm like, something else popped up, right? And then so I had a meeting with my financial people yesterday, and that was something I was like, man, I think I want to talk about that. I may still get to that, right? Because I was like, man, this information is so great. And I had some regrets that I wanted to share from my personal experience of not investing, right? And seeing the results that I had when I did invest, and I didn't invest more, and seeing the growth and what I missed out on, right? So I'm going to encourage and have that conversation about investing. But then I went to the dentist today. And at the dentist today, I also had a story from my experience with the dentist, right? So I was like, okay, I'll talk about the dentist story, and then I'll come to work and I'll figure out if I want to talk about gun laws, or I want to keep it light and talk about financial literacy and my own personal experiences with, finances as I'm getting a little bit older, and I've been investing, but I want to do more. But then, Truth Nation, a bomb was dropped, right? And when I say a bomb was dropped, I'm talking about a story that I don't want to pile on, because I feel like Milwaukee Public Schools offers a lot to students, and I'm going to talk about that. But as I was getting ready for my show, I go to Journal Sentinel, JS Online, and I see at 9:45 a.m. today, MPS audit ordered by Governor Tony Evers recommends sweeping changes at top levels of operations. And I saw this and I read the story and I said, we got to talk about this, right? So MPS, once again, will be the main focus. But before we get into that, I do want to talk a little bit about something that I think is a little bit of a coincidence, is talk about the pandemic and what it's caused. Because when I look at, when I start looking around at those who were educated during this pandemic and look at maybe the lackluster skills that they have, it's starting to show glaring holes, right? And so I know Ben Jammin and Carrie Noni Juice on Jammin' with Juice talked about Gen Z specifically today, right? Which was so interesting because when I go to the dentist, they call you back, right? You go there, you fill out the paperwork, you sit there, and you wait for them to call your name. The individual that called my name, I didn't think she looked 100% professional, but you know what? I was like, I guess we just live in a world where you don't always have to look professional in order to do the job. So I said, you know what? It is what it is. I'm sure she'll be fine at doing whatever she needs to do. So the older I have gotten, the more the dentist has become more of a fear for me, because all of a sudden, like, you realize you're not invincible, and the cavities, the fillings that they filled up when you were maybe in your teens are now to the point where they're talking about, well, we may need to take those out and refill them with something else. We may need to put a crown. It becomes a stressful thing, right? People feeling around in your mouth. When you're a kid, you feel uncomfortable with it, but it is what it is, because you don't have as much of a sense of fear as when you're an adult and people fidgeting in your mouth. You feel a little bit more pain. You lose a little enamel. You have more cavities. Like, it sucks, right? I was literally sitting in the chair today thinking to myself, like, damn, my poor children, they got to deal with some bad teeth. I thought my teeth looked good. I got a beautiful smile as I smile on YouTube. But the whole point of this is that when I sat down in the chair and this young lady was working with me, I could instantly tell from the beginning she was nervous, because she did not speak with any assertiveness whatsoever. She did not operate with any conviction whatsoever. She was just kind of, nervous about what she's going to do, right? So she sat me down. She said, do you want to sit? You want to sit down this way? You want to come around that way? I'm like, ma'am, I can just take a seat right here. And so then after that, it was time to take my blood pressure. And usually I'm used to somebody saying, all right, well, let's get your arm here. But she said, okay, I'm going to take your blood pressure. And she took a look at the blood pressure thing. She said, I'm going to put it on your wrist. And I said, do I need to take my watch off? And she said, maybe. I said, I'll take it off. So she puts it around my wrist, and she's pushing the buttons, and she really doesn't know what she's doing, right? And so she pushes the button, and my blood pressure comes up at like 186 over something. And we look at each other, and I'm like, either this is wrong, or we need to call me an ambulance so I can go to the hospital because my blood pressure's through the roof. She said, yeah, this is wrong. And so then she gets the other machine, and she wraps it around my arm. and she's fidgeting around. She doesn't know what she's doing. Like, she's just, I have to be patient with her because she's kind of learning in the moment. And then after we finally get my blood pressure done correctly, 107 over 70 something. So it was good. I think, I don't know. I don't trust her to tell me. So then it comes to the point she needed to do imaging. And the imaging was a process where she was like, okay, bite down here. And she didn't know what she was doing. Now, I saw her confidence kind of getting stronger as she was going along. But I immediately thought to myself that I know this young lady is probably new to this field, but I also know this young lady was probably educated during the pandemic because I can tell she did not have the confidence because she probably didn't have the coursework, or she probably didn't have inside that coursework the rigorous enough coursework where she was in the classroom going through what she was going to be practicing over and over and over. And it made me think that the pandemic has ruined a generation of young students and young people because the standards that we once had for expectations of how your bedside manner should be, right? How you communicate with people, how you speak with conviction, and you know what you're supposed to be doing. She was dropping pins and dropping stuff, reaching on the ground. I'm like, goodness gracious. And so it really had me pondering to think, because during the pandemic, I was all about health and safety. I got the jab. I got the one-hitter quitter, that J&J. I didn't get nothing else. I haven't gotten it since. And it just made me think that maybe, just maybe, we did our young students, right, those who are coming up. Because remember, colleges across this country in the spring of the winter of 2020, back in February and March, more so March, depending on where you're at. I know February maybe it was, late February, early March over in California, but here in Wisconsin, I know mid-March, we started shutting down schools. Kids ended up learning from home. We started the 2020 school year where, in the fall, where kids were at home. They were taking classes at home. They didn't have to learn the social skills. People were going home to work instead of coming back to the offices. And I feel like culturally we have changed and we have lowered the standards of what we expect from individuals in the work field. And now that I'm out and about and I'm noticing, dental hygienist assistants and people at cash registers, there just seems to be a lack of something, right? And she was fine. She was a very nice young lady, and I was being patient with her. But it was a little disturbing to me how unready she was. She wasn't prepared, and I don't know if I should blame her because somebody told her and gave her piece of paper and said, you are ready now to go be released into the world and go work with patients, without understanding bedside manner, without understanding 100%. When I take these images, I know it goes right here, I put it here, and we're confident when we do this. And I really just think that we have failed a generation of students when it comes to making sure they were adequately prepared for the workforce. I'm not saying my generation was the best generation. We were so prepared for the workforce. But I am seeing a huge gap right now in preparation for young people. Their expectations are so low for themselves, right? Because when they were so used to, oh, well, we have the pandemic, so you're going to work from home, right? Or hey, you know what? During the pandemic, because we're very afraid to have people around each other, you know what? No driver's ed for you. You just drive with your parent and you do all the hours with your parent. They sign off on it, and then you go take your driver's ed test, or you take your test to get your license, right? We made things entirely too easy that we pass people along. And now we as consumers, customers, patients are going to feel the ramifications and the negative ramifications of people being passed along since 2020. And I today was a reflection of somebody who I know for a fact was more than likely passed along and was never really held accountable to say, hey, you're doing great, but we got to be better. Because when you go out into that field, you are dealing with patients, you are dealing with people who have nerves, you are dealing with people who are nervous, but you have to be the educated one, the one that they trust to put things in their mouths, right? To give them oral health care. They have to be able to trust you. So that was the big thing on my mind, is that I walked away from the dentist today with a hell of a lot of cavities and crowns and just a bill. They showed me the bill, Zach. Listen, DJ Brother Z, they want me to do these crowns, and they got this regimen. And she literally showed me the bill. I'll tell you what the bill was. It was $5,600. She said your job covers this much, and you have this much. And I looked at her. She said, you want to schedule an appointment? I said, no, I'm good. The hell I'm going to have $5,600 to fix something in my mouth? I'm good. The healthcare system is a whole nother issue, which I can tell you a story about that one, but I don't know if I want to get somebody in trouble because I don't know who's listening. So that's something that I just had to get off my chest because I just feel very uneasy for where we're going. And at a certain point, I do think we might be better off going back to where we were with having higher expectations for our students, with actually people going back into work for, instead of working remotely, because the level of convenience, I think, has led to a lack of excellence. And there's some fields where you can't lack that level of excellence that we need. So 833-212-1017. That's just thoughts that I have from my experience today at the dentist. I'm not going back for a while until I get my next cleaning because I can't afford to get them crowns in my mouth. If you want to donate to the Broke Kyle Wallace Foundation, please do so. But 833-212-1017, again, is the talk and text line. Make sure y'all watch and stream us live on YouTube. 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Watch and stream us live right now. Go to YouTube, hit that like button. But on the other side, when we come back, Truth Nation, the report that came out about Milwaukee public schools was so scathing that those who are currently working MPS should consider leaving MPS simply because change is probably going to come and is going to be mandated from the governor of the state of Wisconsin who once worked in public education. 833-212-1017. Before we go to break, Al, you have comments on the dentist. You're on Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. What are your thoughts?
Well, to me, I just was going to tell you, she probably was already that way. But let's not use COVID for excuses for people to be lazy. Sometimes that was already lacking in the household. And if you think that's bad, you got a recovering heroin junkie addict that's going to be trying to tell you about your health.
Oh, so you're talking about Robert F. Kennedy. You're talking about Robert F. Kennedy, who is now going to be the Health and Human Services Secretary for the United States. Yeah. I tell you,
a man who only know how to use needles and clean needles, and he's going to tell you about your health, so you better get some elderberry.
You know what's crazy? Thank you. You know what's crazy to me about that, and I'm not going to talk about Kennedy, and it is what it is. Listen, we ain't going to be able to stop these confirmations. But what's crazy to me is that right now there's a discussion going on in this country about diversity, equity, and inclusion, right? But one thing that we need to be talking about is privilege, because what bothers me about all of this is that when they talk about DEI, they talk about people not having the right skill sets, right? They're just hiring them because they're trying to have more diversity, equity, and inclusion, which I don't think there's an issue with that. When a gentleman like Robert Kennedy is now the health secretary simply because he made an agreement with Donald Trump to drop off the erase and endorse him, he decided, I'm going to put you in a position that he is extremely unqualified for. He has no background in working in health. He has no background being a doctor whatsoever. And as Al just said, he used to do drugs, like crackhead drug. He admitted it, right? He admitted to doing this stuff. Damn. And now this is the individual who is in charge of mandating what our health is going to be in America. I tell you, white privilege is the greatest thing on earth, because white men and white women can get jobs with zero qualifications, or white women and white men can get into institutions because grandma and grandpapa went to this school or they're a legacy, and nobody bats an eye about them getting the opportunity to get into these spaces and places. But as soon as a person of color gets in, they immediately assume that they did not earn their spot at this institution, that they did not earn their spot in this office. And that is purely racism, and that's something I cannot support whatsoever. But 833-212-1017, that's the Truth Talk to text line. On the other side, we're going to talk about the report that just came out as Milwaukee Public Schools was audited by the governor of the state of Wisconsin, and the results are damning. And I'll tell you why coming up next. Keep it locked. You're listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on 1017 The Truth.
More of Truth to Power is next on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Milwaukee Black Talk.
And Joe Biden wasn't very controversial. He wasn't. Now, he might have done some things in his long, storied past, but if you all have been in the same line of work for 46 years, you probably have done some questionable things too. Joe Biden was a safe choice. He was a level of common sense. He was a level of stability. He was a familiar political commodity. Democrats don't have that right now. Democrats are caught with their pants completely down.
Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Tune in to the award-winning 1017 The Truth Business Spotlight this Thursday at 3:57 p.m. between The Tori Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. We'll be speaking with Ray Walker III, Sales Director at Great Impressions Graphics and Printing. He will discuss how they became the go-to printing company in Milwaukee and why they go above and beyond to satisfy their customers. So again, tune into the Business Spotlight with the Milwaukee staple Great Impressions this Thursday at 3:57 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
It's 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. There's never been a better time to experience Pella in person and get all your questions answered. Visit Pella at the Nary Spring Home Improvement Show, February 14th through the 16th. Find out why Pella has the best wood warranty in the industry. Learn about their incredible design team with an ability to customize windows to match your unique home. And how Pella's professional installers work fast and year-round. The timing is impeccable. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin is now offering windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. You also have no worries thanks to Pella's 10-year installation warranty. Book your in-home consultation at the show and receive a complimentary DesignWorks consultation and Pella Care inspection. That's February 14th through the 16th at Nary Spring Home Improvement Show. Get windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month at PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply.
I walk on the shoulders of giants who have come before me.
I am ASAP and Maya Angelou.
I am Marva Collins and Frederick Douglass.
From A to Z, I celebrate, emulate, and commemorate their example.
This is part of the Declaration of Excellence Milwaukee College Prep Scholars recite, not just during Black History Month, but each and every morning, because our students don't just honor history, they're determined to shape it. Enroll your scholar at MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as one business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
So if you catch me in your city, somewhere out in your hood, just say, smile for me, Dad. Come on. Let me see your grill. Let me see my what?
I thought Delhi was canceled. Let's perform for Trump. Did you see what? Who's the artist? I'm
You
sorry.
mean the event that Trump wasn't at?
No, the ball. Yeah. Who's the artist? There's a black artist. She performed at the Grammys. Did a Michael Jackson tribute. She identifies as bisexual. Oh, I went to see her at Summerfest a long time ago.
Janelle Monáe?
Janelle Monáe. Yeah, she did a whole freestyle about Nelly in front of his face. Oh, it was rough. It was rough. Nelly, a good one. Yeah, definitely a good one. But really quickly, the award-winning 1017 The Truth proudly celebrates Black excellence in the most monumental moments in our history. Tune in all month long as we celebrate the voices, stories, and achievements that have shaped history and inspired the future. 1017 The Truth celebration of Black History Month is sponsored by Milwaukee College Prep, Educators Credit Union, the Freighter in the Medical College of Wisconsin, and American Family Insurance. And I just want to say thank you so much to our sponsors who care enough about our community to sponsor our celebration of Black History Month right here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Make sure y'all tune in to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris, as he'll be having his Black History Month game tomorrow. Now, on the other side, I talked about this, and make sure y'all watch and stream us live on YouTube. Go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube so you can watch and stream us live. And I really want to have y'all opinion about this because Again, the Journal Sentinel released a report today talking about how the Milwaukee Public Schools audit that was ordered by Governor Tony Evers recommended sweeping changes to top-level operations. And I want to go through some of these sweeping changes and some of the results from this $2.5 million, yes, $2.5 million audit that was mandated from the governor utilizing tax dollars of Wisconsinites to look into MPS. Do y'all understand how serious that is? The governor is using tax dollars across the state to audit one school district. The largest school district in the state of Wisconsin is being audited because of their own personal failures. And the reason why I felt like I need to talk about this is I just need to start with this. I love MPS, right? And I said it before. I did not attend MPS as a full-time student. I went there for summer school. I worked there for many, many years, working with students from the age of literally scorekeeper at 13, working at Oliver Wendell Holmes Elementary School from like 14 and 23 in the summer program, the CLC, COA. Thank you. I worked at college. When I worked at UW Parkside, I attended college fairs and recruited great students that went on to become great teammates. Shout out to DJ Brother Z. Worked at Marquette, recruited Milwaukee Public Schools as well. This is something that I'm passionate about, right? I come from a family. I talk about it. I come from a family of educators. So the reason why I love MPS and I'm so passionate about the students is because I fully understand that education is the way out and that these students have an opportunity, right? They have a specific opportunity to be educated and go on to do great things. I truly believe that MPS is not the prison, the school to prison pipeline. No, I don't believe that. I believe it's the school to career pipeline for the city of Milwaukee. That's exactly what it is. So that's why I'm so passionate about making sure that the future of this city is getting educated, is being trained, and is having a quality of education, a quality of life that they all deserve, because that's the most important things is that we need to make sure that these kids have a safe living environment, but also we need to make sure when they go to school, they have a safe educational environment, but they have an educational environment that they can truly thrive in, because what that does, it builds their confidence, it builds their academics, it helps them become better young girls and young boys who turn into young women and young men who are going to contribute to society. So that's why I think it's so important for us to make sure we support MPS and make sure we love on our students in MPS, because regardless, I am biased. I'm very biased because when I look at MPS, I see me, right? I see students that look like me. And to me, I want everybody to be successful, but more in my heart, and I'll admit it, is when I see a little black boy or a little black girl, I am more passionate about their success than I am, a little white girl or a little Asian boy. Like, it doesn't hit me the same because I see myself when I look in their eyes. And so that's why I'm so passionate about MPS, is because they educate the most black students in this state. And so that's why yesterday when me and Dame LZ were talking, you heard so much disappointment in my voice, right? You heard that disappointment because on Tuesday and yesterday, we know the decision that was made was the wrong decision. And we also know the decision was made by a school board that isn't capable of really making the right decision, right? They don't have the skills and the tools. And again, that's just not me talking. When you read this report and I go through the report, that's what you'll find, right? And speaking of this report that you can find on the Journal Sentinel, was released today, is Tony Evers demanded to have this conducted. He wanted to have he wanted to make sure that they had this audit conducted because of the failures of MPS. MPS failed to submit financial information in time. And so with the failures that started piling up, Tony Evers decided that it is necessary that we do a deep dive, right? So we do a deep dive using taxpayer funds. And Truth Nation, I'm going to tell you this right now. The audit found quite a bit of things that should make us scratch our heads. The first thing that they found is they found a school district that is in absolute turmoil. The audit stated Milwaukee Public Schools is in turmoil and they do not have the correct leadership or the structure currently operating right now to become a successful school district. I just want y'all to understand that. We have a school district that just chose their next leader that through an audit that the state paid for, found that they were inept and didn't have the tools to be able to successfully operate themselves. So with that, you cannot trust them to go and operate and find somebody who's going to lead the school district. And so they also found that the school district currently did not have the right leadership in there that could potentially turn them around. It also found that central office needs to be a complete facelift and needs to be changed. They said the central office is not in a position to truly support the schools and the students the way that it needs to. They said there's way too much overlap in jobs and disorganization and people not having, mapped out roles. This is a problem. This is a huge problem when central office is supposed to be the resource for the schools. Every directive is supposed to come down from central office to the schools to help the principal be better as a leader, be better as a coach, a manager. It's supposed to help the teachers be better, give them the resources they need, because then that gets passed down to the children that learn better. And so that is something that I found to be very alarming. They also recommend sweeping changes and more transparency for parents and taxpayers. And that's something that we have been talking about for long, is how are you going to have more transparency for parents and taxpayers so we know what's going on with MPS, so we can make educated decisions when it comes to referendums that you asked for that was passed last spring. In addition to that, Truth Nation, they also said the school board needs to be retrained on what their roles are. The report said the school board, who makes huge decisions on the academics for your students, needs to be retrained on what the role is. So all I see and all I hear is that we have a lot of individuals in these roles and these positions who do not need to be there. We voted for these people who are not prepared to successfully do the job, and I just want to understand how we did this, right? And this is a we problem. We got to look in the mirror and say, why are we electing individuals, whether it's the mayor's office or you're thinking the common council or on a state level, but even on a school board level, how are we, the citizens, electing individuals who are ill-prepared to successfully carry out the tasks that are necessary to ensure that our kids are successfully being educated? The audit literally said these people need to be retrained. The audit also said they need to restructure their HR department as well. And so for me, I feel like we need to start holding ourselves and our elected officials to a complete higher standard, because the standard that we have right now is not cutting it. 833-212-1017. That is the talk and text line here on The Truth, 833-212-1017. And the question I have for you all is, why do we accept these low standards for our students and our leaders? Like, why is it acceptable for us to have these low standards? 833-212-1017. I got more I want to get to. I see we got a call. I see some text coming in as well, because I also want to talk specifically about the school board, because I read something from the school board and also from Gerald Underly, who's running for state superintendent, and there's an election coming up next Tuesday where you should definitely go out and vote on this spring primary next Tuesday, because it's important to vote in these local elections, is that there's 3 candidates who are up to be the state superintendent. One is Jeff Wright, one is Brittany Kinzer, and the other one is Jill Underly. And I was going back and forth for whether or not I would vote for Jill Underly. But then she released a statement just recently, and it solidified the fact that we cannot trust Jill Underly to successfully educate our kids. 833-212-1017. Melody, you are White Widow. I'm sorry. You are on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What is your comments on this conversation?
Good afternoon, Kyle. It's been my personal experience in August of 2023, the class of veterinary technicians who signed up for Milwaukee Career College. It's located on Highway 100 and Burleigh. They're an extension of Milwaukee County Higher Education School System. For the first 6 weeks, those students were told to sit home. They were told the teachers did not come to the classroom. That building on Highway 100 in Burleigh, that beautiful big solid building, stayed empty. The students were not provided with laptops. They said the monies ran out, so they had to go to the library, or they went to families' homes who had laptops to do their first 6 weeks of veterinary technician. It was sad hearing people at home saying, "Ma'am, I can't get to that icon. Ma'am, I don't know." If they were in a classroom, the teacher would have came right behind them, took that mouse, and guided them. Also, the teachers were saying, "Hey, are you looking down on your lap at the answers?" So, yes, we don't have qualified people. They have certificates because MATC doesn't care. Because it doesn't matter if you're gainfully employed in that career, you will have that student loan around your neck for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the teachers and the union had no problem, and Milwaukee Public, even in August of 2023 when CDC said, come out, it is safe, they still did not return to the classroom, the teachers.
Thank you. I mean, I think she's right. She spoke to the experience about MPS and also my experience that I had today. And again, no knock on that young lady, but somebody passed her along and said she was ready, where clearly she wasn't confident in what she was doing. 833-212-1017. Nicole, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What are your thoughts about the audit?
For really taking a deeper dive into the audit and letting us know what's happening. But one of the things I want to mention, too, is that when we're talking about voting for candidates who's running for school board, we have to remember that we tend to vote for those who are really pushed in front of our faces.
That's true.
Right? And they are pushed in front of our faces because somebody's behind them with the dollar. I know for a fact that there's plenty of people in the city of Milwaukee that can go and actually do the job of the school board, but they may not have the financial backing. Right? So I guess my question would be, how do we make sure that, everyone, regardless if they got the unions backing or not, because we already know that a lot of these individuals that we do elect have the financial backing of the union. And when they have the financial backing of the union, they tend to push the union's agenda, right? So how do we make sure that we are voting in those individuals that, one, that's not coming in and pushing someone's agenda, but that's making sure they're doing the best job for the kids, but they may not have the finances to campaign to us. And I think that's the piece that's missing.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that, Nicole, and I think that's a great question. And I'll answer that and address that on the other side, because the next thing I got to go after is I got to go after the school board, because one thing about me is I'm very respectful of people, and I'm going to be very respectful in the way I go about this. But I have a little bit of I don't have a temper. What would you say, Zach? I'm a Gemini, so I got two sides. I'm a good Gemini, but once in a while I can get a little bit upset about things. Things go kind of light a
flip of a switch.
Yeah, it can light a fire. I come back down, but I saw something today that said that MPS has momentum, and they want to build on the momentum, and that really made me mad, because that is living in a false reality, and our kids live in real life. And to sit here and try to make up the fact that Milwaukee Public Schools has any sense of direction and momentum is an absolute freaking lie. And I'm going to tell y'all exactly why on the other side. Keep it locked. You're listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on 1017 The Truth.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
What if you could ask a question that leads to cleaner water, discover aspects of the far reaches of space, or journey deep into data to improve healthcare? Researchers at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee ask questions, find answers, and add to our understanding every day. Progress starts with the question. It starts at UWM, the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee.
Coming this spring to the Miller High Life Theater, Kim. Friday, April 18th, the Grammy-nominated R&B icon returns. Friday, April 18th at the Miller High Life Theater, Kim. Tickets on sale now, only at PapsTheaterGroup.com. For more than 2 decades, millions have embraced his music, drawn to his honest lyrics, distinctive voice, and magnetic stage presence. Kim, Friday, April 18th at the Miller High Life Theater.
Truth Nation, get ready to celebrate excellence, passion, and the power of community as we host our first annual Truth Community Awards on Friday, February 28th at Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. This will be a Truth family party where we will celebrate the unsung heroes of our community, and we roll out the red carpet for those making a positive impact every day. Tickets are selling fast, so go to 1017thetruth.com today to make sure you do not miss out on the biggest celebration in Milwaukee. Tickets are only $25 and includes free food, free drinks, and free free Truth giveaways. Don't miss an evening filled with entertainment, heartfelt stories, and celebrating our city with the 1017 The Truth team. Visit 1017thetruth.com right now to buy your tickets to our Truth Community Awards. That is 1017thetruth.com to secure your spot for a night of celebrating the excellence of our community. The Truth Community Awards is presented by Potawatomi Casino and Hotel and brought to you by the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer.
Oh, no.
So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning, the cap is loose on that ketchup.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
This is Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth. It's powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. No Giannis, no Dame, no problem for the Milwaukee Bucks as they squeeze off one more win in Minnesota before the All-Star break, beating the Timberwolves 103-101.
He's going to step up, pulls the trigger from three, it misses. Rebound ripped down by Kuzma, and the Bucks will get out of here with a 103-101 win. Like bank robbers in the night, they get away.
Gary Trent Jr. leading Milwaukee in scoring with 21 points. And with the win, Milwaukee improving to 29-24 overall. Next up for the Bucks is a matchup at home February 20th against the LA Clippers. The All-Star break will commence this weekend. Lastly, over to baseball, where Brewers pitcher Brandon Woodruff will face hitters for the first time in more than a year on Friday as he continues to work his way back from a shoulder injury. The Sports Update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
You are listening to Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I am Kyle Wallace, the host of Truth to Power. DJ Brother Z always holding it down on the ones and twos for us. Excellent producer for myself and Tori Lowe. We have been having a conversation and talking about the Milwaukee Public Schools audit. The first half of the audit came out talking about administration. It was a $2.5 million taxpayer-funded audit ordered by the governor of Wisconsin, and the results we got were absolutely scathing. Now, what I wanted to talk about here, make sure y'all watch the stream us live on YouTube. That's 1017 The Truth on YouTube. And the thing that irritated me the most out of all this, I mean, there was a lot. But the thing that irritates me about just Milwaukee in general is that we see a city that the standards, and as Nicole talked about on the other side, she talked about how can we get candidates who are not funded by the machine, such as whether it's a Democratic Party, because we are a Democratic city, or the machine such as the teachers union that supports a lot of the candidates to get on the school board. How do we find the candidates that don't have that backing and support? How do we get them elected, right? And that's a tough thing, and that comes down to people educating themselves on anything and everything that's happening so they can make an educated decision on who they want to vote for. That's the most important thing. And what really infuriated me from everything that I read is in this article, the school board member who is the board president, her name is Marva Herndon, excuse me. Now, I don't know Miss Marva, and she's a senior of mine, and personally, I'm sure she's an excellent woman. I appreciate the fact that she cares enough to run for a school board, and I appreciate the fact that she cares enough to take on the role of being a school board president, and I appreciate the fact that she dedicates her time to trying to do the best that she can, right? So I appreciate her efforts, right? I do. But just because you in a position and just because I appreciate your efforts, does not mean that you deserve to have the job, right? Like, I'm happy you want to do better for the kids, but doesn't mean you're a right fit. It doesn't mean that you know what the hell you're doing. Because the thing that bothered me is that in a news release from MPS School Board President Marva Herndon, she called the report a valuable tool as we embark on a new era of leadership in Milwaukee Public Schools. The report validates the progress we are making while also serving as a guide for continued improvements. I said, okay, that is what it is. But then also she says the fact that the report makes clear that we have an opportunity to build on momentum. Momentum. That's where I got caught up. Okay? I got caught up in the word momentum because there's things that can trigger me, and momentum is a trigger word. Because to sit here and be on the school board of Milwaukee Public Schools since 2019, to be the president of Milwaukee Public School Board of the last 5, now going on 6 years, just being on a school board, for you to have the audacity to sit up there and release a press release that says Milwaukee Public Schools has momentum is a slap in the face to the 70,000 students that it serves. How can you sit up there and say a school district has momentum when a school district is being audited by the state because y'all could not turn in the financial paperwork on time? And when I say y'all, the school board, and shout out to Keith Posley, I hit up Keith Posley. I asked him for, information potentially about, the candidate. He said, hey, I wish him all the best. That's the only thing he had to say. He's moved on. But he was part of this mess, and the people before him were part of this mess as well. And so for her to sit up there and say that the school district has momentum shows that she is completely out of touch. A school district that missed a reporting deadline, that held up funding for Milwaukee Public Schools and actually held up funding for the state at a certain point. A school district that failed to file paperwork correctly for Head Start, a school district that lost their Head Start program as well, a school district inside their Head Start program which was a shining star because Head Start allowed for K-3 students to go to school for free. It was federally funded, but a school district that has lacked so much oversight is that when the government came in and looked at it, they saw that inside those classrooms, students weren't always being treated right, students weren't being picked up and dropped off on time. They said there were some issues here. So on top of the issues they had in the classrooms and then not being able to turn in things on time, the shining star in having kindergartners, 3-year-olds be able to go to school early to start their academic journey was taken away from MPS. But you think we got momentum? A school district that had a referendum that passed asking us for an additional, I believe, $251 million. You got the momentum done, and the superintendent at the time, Dr. Keith Posley, and the school board, after it was passed, they said, oh, thank you, we passed it, so now we're going to figure out what we're going to do with the money. Are you kidding me? You asked for $251 million and didn't have a plan of what you're going to do with it? My tax dollars, literally, anybody that owns a house in the city of Milwaukee, you got your tax bill, and in that tax bill, it gave a breakdown on where a lot of our money was going. And MPS was the number one taker of our money, especially since this $250 referendum. I saw my property tax bill go up over, I think I went up with everything. It went up like $400 this year. That is a significant increase, especially for a school district that asked us for money without having a plan. But that's momentum to the school board president, Marva Herndon? You think you have momentum? You think you have momentum when a report comes out 2 to 3 weeks ago that talks about the scores from your students inside your school district where the achievement gap was not closed, the test scores were worse than what they were 4 years ago, and then on top of that, you have only 27% of your fourth graders reading at a basic reading level. 27%, and that's momentum? 39% can do math at a level in the at the basic level, and you think you have momentum? 15% of your 8th graders are proficient in reading, and that is momentum? That is a complete slap in the face, Marva. Miss Herndon, I'm sorry, Mrs. Herndon. It is. You can't put lipstick on a pig. Stop trying to do that. Our students are the ones who are negatively impacted. So if you think genuinely, tough word for me to say, if you think that this is momentum, then there's an issue. There's a bigger issue that we need to solve, because you can't have all this negativity and sit here and tell us the school district has some type of momentum. You can't be audited by the state and think you have some type of momentum. Momentum comes with change, right? The audit says MPS needs to have change. They need to overhaul the HR office. They need to have clearer descriptions and roles for people in the central office. They said the school board needs to be trained. Yes, they need to be trained on what their roles and responsibilities are. And you think this is momentum? Our students are failing. You, the school board, is failing. But you had the audacity to be quoted in saying we have momentum? It just shows us that you are out of touch of reality, or you are trying to cover up something. But it's time for them, as they said in the report, to be more transparent. And we have been asking for transparency from the school board for years. For years. And we paid $2.5 million for what we already know needed to happen. It's time for y'all in the school board to be more transparent. Period. It's time for y'all to be shaken up. I don't need y'all to lose y'all jobs. I need y'all to start realizing that y'all doing a bad job. Because when you realize you're doing a bad job, you look in the mirror and you say, how can I be better? How can we get more resources? But something has to change. And so, Truth Nation, when I saw that the school board president said that we have momentum right now, I thought that was an absolute joke. Because 15% of your students in the 8th grade of a school district that serves 70,000 students, 15% of your 8th graders are reading at a proficient level is disgraceful. It is shameful. And y'all should take it personal. You shouldn't say we have momentum. You should say we have a lot of work to do. You ain't got to be positive when you get a negative report, because being positive on a negative report doesn't lead to positive results. It leads to y'all doing the same thing over and over and over again. And everybody talks about, doing the same thing over and over again is insanity. Unfortunately, our kids are negatively impacted by the insanity of adults in MPS. And I love MPS, and I just want y'all to understand that, because I understand how important this is. So this is why I'm having this conversation today. I didn't want to talk about this today. I wanted to move on. It doesn't feel good to feel like I'm piling on MPS. It does not. Because I appreciate the work of the Milwaukee Public Schools Foundation, MPS Foundation, that supports students to go to college through scholarships, that supports students to go to D.C. I support MPS in the classrooms when they have their STEM programs where students can go do robotics. I support MPS when they provide scholarships for students to go to school, college fairs in their schools. I support MPS when they go on and have amazing graduates to go on to do great things. Like, I support all the great things. But again, 60% of your students going and do well is not good enough. We have to work harder, and we must do better. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk to text line. On the other side, we'll wrap up the show, and we'll get you ready for the Tory Lowe Show. But again, I'll read your texts. I'll read your comments coming up. 833-212-1017. That's the Talk to text line. 1017 The Truth on YouTube, so you can watch and stream us live. Make sure you hit subscribe and make sure you hit that like button. But we will wrap up the show on the other side. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Tune in to the award-winning 1017 The Truth Business Spotlight this Thursday at 3:57 p.m. between the Tory Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. We will be speaking with Ray Walker III, Sales Director at Great Impressions Graphics and Printing. He will discuss how they became the go-to printing company in Milwaukee and why they go above and beyond to satisfy their customers. So again, tune into the Business Spotlight with the Milwaukee staple Great Impressions this Thursday at 3:57 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
One call, that's all.
One call, that's all is right. And this is your chance to be the one call, that's all 5K giveaway. Be caller number 10 right now at 833-212-1017. That's 833-212-1017 for your chance to be entered to win $5,000 with the award-winning 1017 The Truth in Gruber Law Offices. That's caller number 10 at 833-212-1017 for your chance to be entered into our 5K giveaway entry for the day, courtesy of Gruber Law Offices. Listen, if you are a loved one that's ever injured in an accident, contact Gruber Law Offices today or visit them at gruber-law.com. And for official contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com. That's caller number 10 at 833-212-1017 for your chance to be entered to win our 5K giveaway.
At Gruber Law Offices, we take great pride in helping those who have trusted us after a serious accident. Our team has the knowledge, resources, and experience to get you the results you deserve. Don't wait to get the help you need. Make the right call. Call Gruber Law Offices today. Proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
Protect your dream home with American Family Insurance, and you can weather any storm. You'll also save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com. Products are not available in every state. Discounts may not apply to all coverages on an auto or home policy. Discounts do not apply to life insurance policies. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company assigned its operating companies American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as one business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This monumental moment in Black history is sponsored by Milwaukee College Prep, Educators Credit Union, the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin, and American Family Insurance.
Hiram Rhodes Revels of Mississippi became the nation's first African-American senator in 1870. Revels was elected by a vote of 81-15 in the Mississippi legislature to finish the term of one of the state's 2 Senate seats, which had been left vacant since the Civil War. Born in North Carolina in 1827, Revels attended Knox College in Illinois and later served as a minister in the AME Church in Baltimore. He raised 2 black regiments during the Civil War and fought at the Battle of Vicksburg in Mississippi. The Mississippi State Legislature sent him to fill the vacancy in the U.S. Senate during Reconstruction, and he quickly became an outspoken opponent of racial segregation. Although Revels' term in the Senate lasted just 1 year, he broke new ground for African Americans in Congress.
Listen to 1017 The Truth all month long as we celebrate Black History Month. You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. Catch Truth to Power every weekday from noon to 1 p.m.
One, two, three, ho!
Welcome back into Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. As my time trickles down, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. And I'm telling y'all this right now. Stay informed, stay educated. Go to JS Online or go find an article that talks about what I talked about today, right? Because it's so important that we are knowledgeable on everything that is happening. And the fact that there was a $2.5 million taxpayer-funded audit of Milwaukee Public Schools shows you how drastic change is needed for our district. The amount of turmoil that we have in our district when the governor, who used to be the state superintendent, looks at a school district and sees the people in charge can't turn things in on time, the test scores are in the toilet, that he knows that radical change needs to be made, and that's exactly what this report said, the audit said. Shout out to Desmond for winning the cash giveaway entry for the day. Thank y'all so much for listening to Truth to Power with myself, Kyle Wallace, today as well. Tomorrow, I have a special guest coming up tomorrow, and I cannot wait. And I'm telling y'all this right now. My special guest tomorrow, she's a queen. She's a queen. She's special. And she is absolutely legendary, and I cannot wait for my opportunity to be with her tomorrow. So, again, make sure y'all tune in to Truth to Power tomorrow. We're going to have some fun, and she's going to bring some firepower. I'm going to bring some too. But the Tori Lowe Show is up next. This has been Truth to Power. Peace out.
I walk on the shoulders of giants who have